go the distance, show you the world, be our guest, or let it go. One of the best parts of your Disney cruise are those amazing Broadway-style shows. Oh, amazing. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about the Disney Cruise Line Broadway-style shows. That's today on the DIS Unlimited's DCL Show. Hello and welcome to the DIS Unlimited's DCL Show. Yeah, I almost messed up the title of our show. My goodness. Hi there. I'm Chris Forbeck, one of the agents at Dreams Unlimited Travel. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. The Broadway-style shows on board a Disney cruise, amazing. They're so well done. Well, our friend and colleague, Chloe Fiera, she did a whole story for DCL Fan about what live shows are on each Disney Cruise Line ship. It's awesome. You can find it. I've done a redirect, so you can find it easy, dclshow.com/what-show-what-ship. So you can find it easy. But we're going to talk about the different Broadway-style shows. We're also going to tell you about all the how-tos about those. We get a lot of questions like, hey, do I need to sign up for the show beforehand? Hint, you don't. But we're going to go through all that as well. And here with me to go through all of this is Dreams Unlimited travel agent Elaine Edwards. Hello, Elaine.
Hi, friends.
Dreams Unlimited travel agent and one of the people behind Dreams Spanish content site, See Disney, Federico Agar. Hello, Federico.
Hello, hola.
And Federico, I just need to mention that we had a comment on our one of our YouTube shows. Claudia said her mother speaks Spanish and wanted to find the Spanish. Is there Spanish content? And I said, yes, you can find it at cdisney.com. But there's a whole. We also have Spanish speaking agents, so they can find. Right, that's the best place to find you.
Yeah. So the YouTube channel is See Disney, SI Disney. And we also have Instagram, si.disney. We have a TikTok, the website. And of course, if you want to book with any of the Spanish-speaking agents like myself, you can send me an email and I will help you out.
Perfect. And I mentioned her name earlier, but we have her right here with us, Chloe Fiera. Hello, Chloe.
Ahoy. Thanks for having me back.
And we're thrilled you're here all the time. And, of course, our amazing producer, Jimmy Valdez. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello.
And Jimmy and Federico are getting ready to go on a Norway cruise, so we're all dripping in jealousy. So we're going to talk about the Broadway-style shows just ahead. We also have some news. And, yes, we're going to connect Disney Cruise Line to the World Cup. Yeah, really. But I'd love to mention that this show, along with everything we do at the DIS Unlimited, DCL Fan, UO Fan, it's all brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. We are experts at helping you plan your magical Disney cruise, a visit to an amazing Disney theme park, your Universal adventure, even other cruise lines. There's no additional cost to book with Dreams Unlimited Travel, not a dime. But we're going to get you the insights into your Disney cruise ship, your Disney park, all about Universal and your Universal adventure. This is what we do. And by booking your cruise with Dreams Unlimited Travel, you get a shipboard credit of up to $1,000, depending on the price of your cruise. And I always hear people say nothing's for free. This is one of those amazing cases where you are getting free money to spend on board, and it doesn't cost you a penny, not a penny. Best way to get started, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. And I always like to note, by way of transparency, all of us, Elaine, Federico, me, we are all Dreams Unlimited Travel agents. Yes, this is our job. But we do this because we really love our jobs and we love Disney and we love Disney Cruise Line and we want you to have the best time possible. Our job, both here on this podcast and as agents, is to give you information so you can make the best decision for you and your family. And as Disney fans well know, sometimes Disney fans are a little bit more critical because we care about this stuff so much, right? We, as always, hope you book with Dreams. It allows us to do this podcast and the other things that we do. If you don't, we still hope you have an amazing trip. Oh, and I hear other podcasts who mention that they get 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, and yeah, it's a great way to by doing that, you help our podcast reach out other people. I did want to mention Mega Swifty, who left us a phenomenal, I warmed my heart when I saw it. She said, I love this show so much. As someone who works on the Disney Cruise Line, this is amazing advice for everyone that would love to go on a Disney cruise. Oh, Okay, sold. I love that. Mega Swifty. I just love that. Thank you so much for leaving that. So, quick news item. And Elaine, we don't get to talk about the World Cup very often on this program, but we wanted to give folks a heads up that there's something called the World Cup. I'm the dumb guy here. I thought the World Cup was a hockey thing, but apparently I've been corrected. That's a Stanley Cup. They're completely different things. So I'm not the expert. But 2026 is going to be a World Cup year, and it's going to include some cities that Disney Cruise Line departs from, Vancouver specifically for Alaska cruises, and there are going to be World Cup games in Miami, Florida, which is likely to impact Fort Lauderdale. Big issue here really is hotels. If you're next summer for 2026, if you're doing a cruise, particularly in one of those two locations, think ahead, right?
Yes, and we do have a resident expert on staff. One of our agents,
Yes.
Jeff Herod, he is all in on World Cup, and so he even put his own expertise and guidance when we were talking about this internally, and when I was personally talking to him. He said that, for sure with Vancouver, that is definitely one that I've already seen when I am booking hotels for my guests in Vancouver, that the rates are high, especially if you're looking like at Pan Pacific and the other one across the street, the Fairmont waterfront. That one,
Yep.
they are high. And
they're not cheap anyway.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of stuff we don't know until there's like teams and where they're placed and where they're playing and that kind of thing. He did say for Miami, if you're sailing out of Fort Lauderdale on Disney, he said it probably won't be much of an impact to you as far as the hotels there. There may be some impact, like if you're going to be flying into Miami to get to Fort Lauderdale, that might, we're not just talking about hotels here. We're talking about flights, restaurants, Ubers, like it's kind of a radiating thing. So it's something to be aware of if you are sailing next summer out of one of those areas, that you might want to plan a little earlier rather than later. And things can be booked now that we're more than a year out. Most hotels do already have their stuff online that you can book them. We can't add Disney transfers yet. Those aren't available, but we will be able to do that for you once they're available. So just, something to think ahead.
And it's one of our standing recommendations is get to your destination at least one day before your cruise departure. And at least for summer 26, you probably want to step up your planning for your hotels a little bit. So just putting it on your radar if you're doing cruising around that time. So let's talk. I love these Disney shows. I'm always there. If you want to find me on a Disney ship, that's where I'll be, the Walt Disney Theater. Chloe, I love the story you wrote, and I mentioned it earlier, what live shows are on each Disney ship, because it'll allow you to find which shows, and Chloe even wrote up a little description of it, and we're going to talk about that later on. But why are these such special things? For me, it's partially that this is on a ship, for goodness sakes, but they're really so well done, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And it's one of those elements of Disney Cruise Line that sets it apart for me. I recently cruised another cruise line, and I really missed that level of entertainment that Disney promises. And we already know that they know how to tell stories in their theme parks. They have Broadway shows on Broadway in New York City. And so when you kind of meld those two together and bring it to sea, it's just really special. And it's such an easy, tradition to take a Disney cruise, go to the show, go to dinner, or vice versa, whichever dining schedule you have. And it's dinner and a show every night, and it's all taken care of in your cruise fare. So it's definitely a highlight.
Part of what you do. Yeah, it's so awesome. Federico, I know you like these as well. Why are these particularly special? Why do I walk out feeling so wonderful when I walk out of those shows?
I think what surprises me about the shows is the quality that you get, because I mean, I don't want to be mean with comparing these shows with the Disney World shows that you get when you go to the theme parks, but they're much better, much better in Disney Cruise Line. And so for me, I was doing Disney World many times before doing a Disney cruise, and I was expecting the same level of quality. Like for example, when I watched Beauty and the Beast on Hollywood Studios, and then I watched it on a Disney cruise, I was expecting the same type of show, and it's very different
Yeah.
because you get the. Well, I never been to Broadway in New York as well, so I don't know the level of the quality, but I think that the detail, the design, the actors, the music is just in a very good quality for me, and it adds, as Chloe was saying, a lot of value to your vacation. So I was surprised by that level that you get.
And I wanted to get Elaine in here because this isn't a big part of Disney cruising for her. But Chloe, I wanted to just touch base that it seems to me that Disney Cruise Line has really been stepping the quality of these shows has even ramped up in the last, the Wish class ships, they've even stepped it up even more than they were always awesome, but they've really kicked it up a notch, it seems to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know we've talked about the tale of Moana, and we will on the show as well. But especially that level of production and how Disney's actually using that to set the bar for their future productions, like Hercules and the
Yeah.
Destiny. So they're just continually trying to one up themselves. And I mean, as fans, we only win. So that's
Yeah.
great.
I'm happy to have a front row seat to watch it all, right? Happy to do it. Elaine, this is not part of, not a big part of how you cruise. And I would say, guess what? You are going on the cruise that you want to do, not my cruise. This is your cruise. Why is this something that's not a big priority for you?
Yes, so that's the great thing about cruising is that it's a great vacation for anybody because it's kind of a choose your own adventure. If shows are not your thing, shows are not your thing. And I am not saying that shows are not my thing. What I'm saying is that if I'm on main dining and I watch the show afterwards, I'm probably in a food coma, and I will be brutally honest, I'm cruising. I will probably fall asleep. In fact, I can guarantee I will fall asleep because I've done it many times. It is what it is. And if I'm on second dining, that means that you watch the show before your dinner time. And I am probably getting back from either the pool or the spa or whatever excursion we've gone on or the port for the day. And I want to shower and I want to do my hair and do my makeup and I want to pick out a dress. And that does not take 10 minutes. That takes 2 hours. So I just doesn't work into my personal
And
thinking schedule. I
God forbid
did
if it's
when I
pirate
was
night, because there's 2.5 hours. So
so I mean it is what it is. It doesn't work into my cruising schedule. It's not a priority for me. I did
yeah.
make it a priority when I went on the Wish when it first came out, that I did see all three of the shows because they were, three brand new, completely different shows that we had on the other ship. So I did see those and I have opinions on all of those and I can offer that. Outside of that, I've only seen Beauty and the Beast on the Dream, and I sat in the seat to try to watch Frozen on the Wonder, and then I got a urgent email from a client, and so I had to go back to the stateroom, and I missed that entire show. And then any other show I have slept through. Believe I've slept through that, and I think
Let's go
so
through
that's
some of the things. We're going to go through some of the things that you need to know as you prepare. Again, I highly recommend these shows. I think they're really a must do. They really do an amazing job. These are all held, whatever ship you're on, it's the Walt Disney Theater. It's at the very forward part of the ship. It's the deck will depend on the ship, but they're all in the very front part of the ship. They will have each show will be shown at least twice. So as Elaine mentioned, if you have 5:45 dining, you're going to go to the later show. If you have 8:15 dining, you go to the early show. There may be matinees, particularly for popular shows. On the Disney Treasure, we've seen Disney Tales of Moana. They'll have matinees times. And I was even hearing from somebody else the other day who said that on the last Treasure cruise that they did, that there were matinees for all the shows. It's super awesome. Those tend to be less crowded, just FYI. You do want to arrive early if you want to get best seats. There's kind of this rope drop culture for Tale of Moana, for example. People would have been waiting up an hour in order to get in the ship, get into those theaters. And the Navigator app will have all the showtimes. Seating with kids. So if you have kids and you're not sure if they're going to make it the whole time, definitely think about where you sit. You maybe want to be closer to an aisle. You may not want to be fourth row center, because then if they have to get up or something like that, they get wiggly. You want to just kind of keep that in mind. All the theaters have an aisle kind of halfway back. I sit. I always mention this, and it's boring, but I have cancer, and so guess what? I have to visit the restroom, guaranteed at least once during the show. I make sure I plan so I'm not stepping in front and getting in everybody's way. So I try and do that. So just think about that stuff as you're going in. No video. Disney has been very strict about this of late. Personally, I don't have a problem with that. I enjoy the theater the way it's meant to be seen, which is live and in person. But they also so they're going to watch you and stop you. I know, Chloe, you wanted to say something about that.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to mention that Disney often either live streams or records these productions, and they show them in the in-room, your stateroom television. So if you, just in case you have to miss the show, if you have little ones that aren't able to sit still for it, or if you're not feeling up to being in the theater, or if you missed out on the seat you wanted, you can pull it up on your television. It's not the same as being in the theater, but it is an option. Right. And I wanted to kind of piggyback on what you said about, getting there early. I've heard a rule of thumb is 15 to 30 minutes for any production, except Moana. You want to get there about 45 minutes beforehand, and they line people up outside the Walt Disney Theater and let people in close to like 30 to 40 minutes before showtime, I believe. But that show has been filling up, and both times fill up. It's insane. And also they have like the daytime matinee as well that also gets very busy. So no matter what time you're going to see that one, definitely line up way earlier than you might expect to. And I would anticipate the same for Hercules, honestly, for the new ship. So
about great minds thinking alike. I was going to say prepare similar kind of considerations for Hercules. Elaine, anything that you get asked about, kind of people? The one thing I always get I get asked most frequently is, do you need to sign up beforehand? You do not. This is just part of your cruise. You get to go. But anything else that on the kind of the 411 on Disney shows, on these shows, that we need to tell folks?
Yeah, I mean, the most big question is how far in advance do we need to be there, which we've said. And maybe I may have mentioned, have we mentioned concierge as far as their seating, as far as the shows?
We didn't. Good point.
So if you are sailing concierge, they will, again, it's not my priority, so I don't know, but I think they will let you in before they open the doors. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah,
they will let you know. They will communicate to you when they'll let you in. You'll get popcorn and drink and a water before you go. But you'll get in before anybody else. Again, your concierge team will make sure you know about this. So, and they'll have a place, and they usually take you backstage a little bit, or back. What is it on a ship? I don't know. Backstage, so you can get in and get seats. So it's one of the perks that comes along. Now, they were not doing that early on for Moana. They are doing it now. So we'll see on Hercules whether they do it. And if you're on the inaugural cruise, if they're not doing it, it's just one of the things. So just be aware. Ask your concierge team; they'll let you know.
And before
but it's a great point.
I don't want to glaze over lightly the importance of you get free popcorn when you are concierge.
We have to be careful. It's not free popcorn. You paid for it in your concierge fare, but it's included in your...
The only place you can get popcorn on the entire Disney ship is outside of those theaters, because I am a popcorn fiend and I eat it almost every single day. And so that was like, I went down, the one time I saw concierge, I went down there many times, even when I'm not seeing shows, just so I could get popcorn and take it back to my room, because that was very important. And outside of that, even if you're not selling concierge, know that they do, while there is so much free food on this ship, that little concession stand outside the theater is not free. And so there's popcorn and there's candy and there's soda. You have to pay for all of it. So be advised.
The other thing, Federico, that's they have on board is they often have somebody, an actor or actress that's either from Broadway or from the West End in London, that is on board, kind of a visiting person who will, and it will be, they're amazing. As you mentioned, the caliber of the acting is phenomenal, and the singing is just a level up. And in fact, that person will often have a little standalone show sometime during the cruise. But it's one of the things that you get with Disney Cruise Line is this great acting. It's so well done.
Yeah, I remember on like 2 months ago, I was in a European cruise with my brother, and this was his first cruise ever. And I think, well, he's
Wow.
never been to Broadway either. And he was like, in the middle of the show, he came like a whisper in my ear, like, "Are they singing live?" And I was like, "Yeah, they are." This is all live. So yeah, it's sometimes you get those visiting actors, but even if they're not, like from the Disney Cruise Line Company of theater, they're really good. And so you're gonna get a great experience. And one thing that I like a lot is that the cruise director, when he or she introduce the shows, they always tell you, you're more than welcome to sing, you're more than welcome to scream when the characters come out. So it's not like a serious theater performance. You're still in Disney, and they expect you to have fun. If you want to drink alcohol, you can buy your drinks outside and get them in the theater. So it gives the show a more like festive vibe that I think is very important to keep the cruise fun going.
So, Chloe, let's talk about these shows, and let's start with the Disney Magic, the OG, the original show, the original ship. The one, the kind of, all of them have like a lead, and then they have other shows. The big show on this one is Tangled the Musical, the only place you can see a stage show made of Tangled. And give us your thoughts on Tangled.
This is my favorite one on the ship. I love this show a lot. I feel like Tangled is one of those shows that was just kind of made for a Broadway style production like this. And they have fun on the Magic because they have kind of like the Tangled themed night whenever the show is happening, and they'll have ruffians like nearby, and I believe they transform the pub into the Snuggly Duckling for the evening. So they have fun with this one. This is like the big show for the ship. One of two exclusive ones on this one, but it's a good time.
When the Disney Magic has the Tangled dining room, right? Is that, if I'm remembering, it's either the Wonder or I believe it's the Magic.
Magic, yeah.
The other, I also love this show. I love Tangled, so I love this show. The other ones are Disney Dreams and Enchanted Classic. Tell us about that one.
Oh my, I wasn't expecting that. This one, I wasn't ready to comment on it because I haven't seen it in a long time. But I remember it's about a little girl, and I think she pairs up with Peter Pan, and he takes her through different. And it's supposed to be like her dream, like she's going through a bunch of Disney stories. But yeah, I'm not very well versed on it.
Yeah, no, so they do. This is one of these where they bring together a whole bunch of Disney stories. So you get a bunch to see a bunch of Disney characters. It's really awesome. It's lovely. I like this one. Kind of puts you in touch with we're all kids at heart. So the other one is Twice Charmed, an original twist on a Cinderella story. This, again, has original music and is very fun. It's kind of, instead of the fairy godmother, you have the evil fairy godfather or something like that.
I haven't seen this one. I wanted to. I went on the Magic
really?
Last year. Yeah, and I unfortunately missed this one. It was like Elaine, it fell too close into, I think it was like our lookout key day or something. It fell too close into the day plans, and so I missed this one. But I like when they do those twists on original stories, and this is
Yeah,
another one of the ones that is exclusive to the Magic. So if you're a completionist that's trying to knock this off your Disney Cruise Line bucket list, then you have to go to the Magic.
and exactly, this one's only on the Magic, and so the fairy godfather, the evil godfather, kind of turns back time and wants to not have Cinderella, win in the end, and so it's one of my favorite, and it has a great big scene with the fairy godfather is kind of the genie of the show. He's very entertaining. The Disney Wonder, of course, leads with Frozen, the musical spectacular. Frozen's awesome, right?
Oh yeah. So we'll get into it, but this show is on another one of the ships, and this is another story that I feel like when they created Frozen, the film, they were like, okay, will this play into Disney theme park productions and cruise line productions well? Because the show is one of my favorites easily. Before Moana, Frozen was one of my favorites.
Yeah, awesome. It also has Disney Dreams, an enchanted classic, which we just mentioned with Peter Pan, and it has the Golden Mickeys. This is kind of, think of a red carpet award show, and through that you get to meet a whole bunch of Disney characters. It's their version of a Disney review show, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen this one in quite some time. I believe it was on the Dream in 2011 when I last saw it. But I remember really enjoying this show. And this is actually a current stage show at Tokyo Disneyland as well. So it's
Oh,
a
wow, awesome.
popular little hop through a couple different Disney stories, and it's a cute show.
Yeah, so I believe it has Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in it. It has Cruella from the 101 Dalmatians. It has Lion King. It has Tangled. It has Mulan and Toy Story, and there may be others in there, but at least last time I saw it, that's the kind of idea. You're going to see a lot of different characters in one setting, so it's kind of fun. They have updated it a little bit. And I was just listening to another podcast of somebody who was on the Disney Wonder, and their kid went out. They actually talk to people as they're walking down the red carpet, and the kid got to be on and was recognized around the show. It was awesome. Disney Dream, the lead big one on this one is the Beauty and the Beast. This again, Broadway caliber. This is a favorite of many people. How do you enjoy Beauty and the Beast, Chloe?
I do. I haven't seen it since they updated, because I know they updated the story a little bit and the costuming for the live action, which it can be kind of divisive, but I am looking forward to seeing it on my upcoming Treasure Cruise, because the same show is on that, and I've heard it's done really well. So I loved it before. Beauty and the Beast is such a classic, a tale as old as time, if you will. So this is another one that is just a really nice premiere show of any ship that you're on.
Sorry, Federico, I should have asked you.
So many of the ships.
Sorry, go ahead. Say again.
Why do we think that they put Beauty and the Beast on so many of the ships?
Because it's awesome.
There you go.
It's really good. I think the art design of the show with the live action inspired movie is just so well done, and I remember I was very surprised. They added a scene in the dining, the famous beer gas scene, where they sort of like recreate a bowl. I don't know how you call that in English. It's like the drag queen balls that they do in New York back in the 80s with the drag queens. And so the characters are like doing the voguing on the table. Like, so it's very like contemporary. There has like this very details that if you're into the whole gay scene of drag queens, you're going to enjoy a lot. And if you don't, you're going to miss it and still love the show. So
I thought of it, Federico, as a little bit like a one of those French ooh la la kind of shows with their, I thought it was fun. I loved that scene. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, Elaine asked, why do we think it's so popular? And I know Beauty and the Beast was, I think, only the second Broadway production that Disney did in New York City. First it was Lion King, and then it was Beauty and the Beast. So, which also was like, how do we not have a Lion King full-on production on a cruise line? But Interesting.
You guys are reading my mind. Later on, we're going to talk about which ones we want to see on board, but so we'll pin that for right now. The other one on the Disney Dream is Disney Believe, which is the story about the little girl whose dad is a doctor of plants and kind of gets distracted and doesn't pay attention, and so you see a whole bunch of characters. Federico, what do you think of this one?
I love this one too. I think
Yeah,
it's
me too.
so. I mean, if you're a Disney fan, this is the show that you have to see because it has the best movies, the best songs, and it's really like one of those shows that makes you warm inside. You know, like
Yeah.
the it makes you actually believe. It's so cheesy, but it makes you believe in the magic of Disney. So I think it's a very good homage of the idea of magic and fantasy that Disney has, and it goes through a different setup of movies and stories, and I think it's really good. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it tugs at your
Yeah, go.
heartstrings. Oh, it tugs at your heartstrings for sure. The story is really sweet, and it definitely has a song that will be stuck in your head for the rest of the cruise. An original song.
As I was making
won't
my
put it
notes,
here.
that song popped into my head, and I was like whistling it. And my better half,
Yeah.
who has an office right, said, "Okay, you need to stop that because it can become a little bit like It's a Small World, where it like it's
Uh-huh.
a ear like oh." I think this one. I have a kid, my son, and every time I see it, I always end up with a tear at the end, and like it's a good remembrance of. Okay, focus on what really matters rather than all the other things that don't matter and we can get easily distracted by. It's a lovely, lovely story, I think. Favorites, Chloe, Beauty and the Beast, I'm guessing, is your favorite, though, on this ship. Even though you like Believe, I'm guessing Beauty and the Beast takes
so
it.
far, like I said, I haven't seen the newly updated one, but I did see the previous iteration on the Fantasy years ago a couple times. So, yeah, I love that one a lot.
Yeah, they've done a lot more. So they have screens back behind, which help create the environment. They've done a really nice job of it, and it does include one of the in fact, one of the best songs from the 2017 live action film. So it's fun. I like it. Disney Fantasy. We have Frozen, the musical spectacular, similar to the Disney Wonder. This has Aladdin, a musical spectacular. Have you seen this one, Chloe?
I have. I've probably seen this one the most, and this is the genie steals the show. So we were talking about earlier before we started recording. We were talking about how Sage and Coriander on the Treasure, they're kind of like your hosts through entertainment for the sailing. They have swapped over to a new cast for a contract, and one of the previous genies is now playing a sage, and I'm very excited about that. I was sad to see the old cast go, but I'm very excited because Genie is he's incredible. He breaks the third wall constantly, or fourth wall constantly. They bring a lot of trendy pop culture jokes into the show, which you don't really expect. Even if you're a repeat watcher, there's different jokes almost every time. And he's just very charismatic and he's hilarious. It's kind of like the comedic relief that show needs. In the best way without, detracting too much from Robin Williams' character in the film. And then the production itself is beautiful. They also updated the sets and costumes to kind of align with the live action film, but they're really pretty and they lend themselves well to stage production. I really love this show. I could probably do without Jasmine's number, if I'm completely honest. It's a little bit of a sleeper moment in the show, but everything else, like the magic carpet ride and through the fog on the stage, and they have really great performers typically in those roles that just knock it out of the park. So, or off the ship, I guess.
The Jasmine song is the song where Elaine will be gone. She would totally be asleep by the time that's played.
I'm going to get another drink of that part.
Exactly. Federico,
in my defense, I have recently had a sleep study, and they said that I'm severely over deprived of sleep. So I have scientific record. I am tired. So
all right. More cruises for you.
Doctor certified. The other show that's on the Disney Fantasy is Disney's Believe. Federico, do you have a favorite among these?
Aladdin. I think the Disney Fantasy right now is the ship with the best lineup of shows. All those three are amazing, but
Awesome,
Aladdin
right.
is my favorite.
Let's talk about the Disney Wish, because this has Disney Seas the Adventure, SEAS the Adventure. This show carries through on all of the Wish class ships so far, and the Disney Adventure as well, that will be out of Singapore. Seas the Adventure, again, kind of a variety show with Captain Minnie and Goofy, and this is, I of the variety shows, this is among the better. They did a nice job doing this one, Chloe.
I was really surprised by this show. So I first saw this on The Wish, and I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting sort of like typically on a longer voyage cruise, they have a kind of like welcome aboard variety show, and it has the
Right.
entertainment cast kind of introducing you, walking you through what you can experience on the cruise ship. So I thought that's what this was kind of going to be like, but this surprised me. We have Goofy taking over as captain of the ship, which what could go wrong, right? But there's a really
Exactly.
cool there's a really cool melodic moment with Merida, Mulan, and Moana, I believe, the three M's, where they're kind of layering their vocals over each other, and it was beautiful. I love that so much, and I cannot wait to see it again.
This has Aladdin, a musical spectacular, which we mentioned earlier. It also has The Little Mermaid, which is exclusive to the Disney Wish. Federico, what do you think of The Little Mermaid show? This one tends to be a little bit more controversial, I think.
I didn't like it at all. I think this is
As I said, it's not everyone's favorites.
that
Yeah.
puts the bar in a different level compared to the other shows. I don't understand many of the artistic decisions of the show. Like they have this box. I don't know how you call it in English, like a coffin. I don't know how
Yeah,
you
it's
say that.
a treasure chest.
Yeah, and they keep it all the time in the stage, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any importance or relevance to the story. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It seems like such a different quality compared to Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin or Frozen that I'm not a fan of The Little Mermaid. I think it's I mean it's very important for Disney history, but it's not my favorite story. But they could have done a much better. Like for me, this is unless I know that they are going to change it, I'm not gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
I have full opinion on that one. That one, so on Seize the Day that we just talked about, I think that is a great show if you have younger kids that you know that they're not going to be able to sit through shows. That is a great one to take them to. It's shorter. It's only, I think it's only like an hour long, and it's got all of the characters that they love in it. So
like 42 minutes. You're exactly right. Yeah.
It's very Mickey's PhilharMagic like. So if you like that, it's very much like that. So for the Little Mermaid show, I've made this comparison from the beginning. It is very much Jesus Christ Superstar. It is 100% that framework. So the actors are coming out and they're in street clothes, and that treasure chest comes out and they're pulling out their costumes and distributing them to each other as they're starting the show. And then I think that's kind of the whole thing. So it's very Jesus Christ Superstar, if that is the kind of framework that you like as far as that show goes.
I was
I
just
did
getting
say Jesus Christ a lot of time watching it. Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say I was getting high school production from it. The costume level, the set design, it did not look like your typical caliber of Disney Cruise Line production. So unfortunately I would skip this one until they improve it or swap it out because I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the Disney Wish next weekend, so I'm going to test it out and we'll compare notes afterwards because I haven't seen it since very early on. So I'm going to I'm going to look with a much more critical eye now. So, but it's great. Chloe, your favorite on this one, I assume, would be either Aladdin or Seize the Adventure, right?
Yeah, I would probably say on this ship, I would probably say CZ Adventure. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I love it.
Both are so well done. Disney Treasure,
Mhm.
the Disney Treasure has, as all the Wish class ships have, it has Disney Seas the Adventure, it has Beauty and the Beast, which we mentioned earlier. It has Disney Tale of Moana. Love this show. What makes Tale of Moana so awesome, Chloe?
I mean, there's quite a bit. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'm sure everybody who's
Yeah.
watching this has heard of the 15-foot tall transforming puppet of Tafiti that is the culmination of the show. It's just gorgeous seeing that happen on stage so effortlessly. And then the cast of characters too. I know that Disney Cruise Line hired quite a few Pacific Islander performers to stay true to the story. And you have Grandma Tala telling the story and Moana performing, and then their kind of new, I guess, new version of, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name. The Rock's character.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Maui.
Maui, yeah. We have a new kind of
Yeah.
translation on Maui, which, can be controversial, but I've gotten used to it. But I will say though, Pua and Hey Hey are greatly missed in this show. I wish they had some way of kind of incorporating them in either tiny little puppets or some little hints into the show. But everything else is gorgeous. The way that they kind of like translate the water and the baby Moana puppet in the beginning, the whole thing. I can't wait. I've seen it once and I'm like, I know I'm kind of probably propping it up on a pedestal in my head, but I cannot wait to see it again. It's a beautiful show.
Yeah, and so you're going in October. I'm going in November, so we'll definitely have to compare notes later on. But
Yeah.
Federico, you were the person who got me to think about the importance of the water in this show. The water is not almost, they make it a character.
They make it alive, like alive
Yeah.
with human beings, like a character that is actually a living person, which is so poetic in the story of the movie. I think Moana is a show. The Disney Treasure is right now doing its 7 nights trips, and if they had Moana 3 of those nights, I will watch it 3 times or even more.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's a great show. It's so well done. The music, the dancers, the art design, everything is just so, it's completely the opposite to the Little Mermaid. And I think, yeah, they did a great job, I think, with this
All
one.
right, I'm taking
And it
notes. Federico does not like Little Mermaid. Got it.
but I love Moana.
Yes. The Disney Destiny, which will be make its debut in November, it will have Disney Seas the Adventure, like all the other Wish class ships. It will have Frozen, a musical spectacular, and it will have Disney's Hercules, which will be the second time. It'll be a remake of Disney Cruise Line used to have a Hercules show. It's coming back, and it's new and improved, and it will also have these puppets, which we've seen some glimpses of. So much looking forward to that show. I am, anyway. And the Disney Adventure, which will be cruising out of Singapore. It will also have Disney Seas the Adventure. It will have a show called Remember, which will be exclusive to the Disney Adventure. So if you want to see it, you have to get to Singapore. And it is a tale of love and longing, starring Wally and Eve. And it will weave in Coco, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and other favorites. It's their variety show. The early buzz on it, from what I've heard, is that it's going to be pretty amazing. So can't wait to get glimpses of that and hear what people say. So taking all of these, Chloe, your favorite? What if you could only see one of these shows? Which one would you see?
I mean, I really want to see Remember, what you were just talking about. I really hope
I
that
know,
makes
sounds
its way
so amazing,
to
right?
a Florida side ship because, yeah, I mean, Wally and Coco together, what the heck? That sounds amazing. No,
Yeah.
I'm also very excited for Hercules, but if I could drop everything right now and watch a show, I think I would say Moana.
Mm.
How can you go wrong?
Yeah, no, it's
It's a
so well
beautiful
done.
show. Yeah, I know I'm coming up on my next cruise in October, and I know I'm going to see it anyway. So I was trying to think of something else, but no, I think I'd go see Moana right now.
Federico, you can choose one. Which one would you choose?
Oh my God.
Mhm.
I think I don't know. I love Moana, but I'm gonna say Aladdin because it's so funny and I love
Mm,
laughing. So Aladdin for me with a good genie that has these up to date
yeah.
jokes. Yeah.
Elaine, do you want to choose a favorite?
The favorite of what I have seen would be Aladdin. It was
Mm,
fantastic. I do want to see Moana. It sounds amazing. I do want to see Tangled just because I love Tangled. But
yeah.
yeah.
I think I would also choose this. This always feels like Sophie's choice to me to have because they're all awesome. Um,
Yeah.
but it's I think I would choose Moana, and I'm very excited to see. We're both Chloe and I will see the second version of the cast, so it'll be interesting to see how it holds up with a different cast, and so it'll. I'm looking forward to doing that in a couple months. All right, Federico. I don't think I need to find out what's your least favorite, but I'm gonna guess.
The Little
You tell us.
Mermaid. Yeah. The Little Mermaid, La Sirenita. I'll say it in
Yeah,
Spanish,
Little
so
Mermaid.
La Sirenita.
Okay. By the way, I 1,000% agree. The story of the Little Mermaid creeps me out. Guess what, ladies? You don't need to give up your voice for a man. Don't do that. Like, don't, as a general rule, be the person you are, and if they don't like you, go away. But
Especially
Chloe,
when
your
she's
least
like
favorite?
13 or whatever she was supposed to be.
I'm sorry. Go. Say again.
I was saying, especially when you're like 13 years old or whatever she was supposed to be. Stuff like
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Right.
1,000%. Chloe, your least favorite?
Little Mermaid.
Oh, there you go. Look, we're 2 for
Well,
2.
the Little
Elaine, do you want
Mermaid
to
for
choose a
me is
least? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
no.
Chloe.
I was just going to say, I know I talked about at the beginning how important the productions are to a ship, and I feel like the Little Mermaid kind of wrapped up the wish for me. I much prefer the treasure, if you have not heard before, versus the wish. There are definitely elements of the wish that I enjoy, but the Little Mermaid being like the exclusive show to the ship just speaks volumes to me, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm good sailing on another ship for my time.
Yeah. Elaine, do you want to choose your least favorite?
So I'm probably not qualified to make that decision because I haven't really seen them or all of them, but Believe was the one that I fell asleep the fastest in. I can tell you that I was Believe before they ever started like the introductions, like finish the opening scene. The person that I was with, he's like, "Yeah, you didn't even make it past like the opening scene." So we'll go
Oh
with
my
that.
goodness. So Elaine, I'm going to have you start on this one. If you could have any Disney property that they turn into a show, what would that be?
That would be Nemo from Animal Kingdom
Hmm,
with all of the puppets. I mean,
yeah,
I think
puppets.
that
Yeah,
it makes sense when you're talking about you're on water. We need water shows. That's why with
yeah.
the adventure, I believe they're going to have like a Nemo like area that
Coral Reef
looks
area. Yep.
and I think it just makes so much sense. And like in Fort Lauderdale, their whole terminal is Nemo themed. I think the Nemo show from Animal Kingdom would be absolutely perfect. So yeah.
Federico, which what any Disney property? What would you like to see them turn into a Disney show on a Disney ship?
For me, it will be Princess and the Frog, which is my
Mm,
favorite Disney movie, and I think it will be a great show. They have a scene on Disney Believe, and I think having the whole show will be amazing. But also Encanto, I think will do very, very good.
mm. And Chloe, what show do you hope they bring?
Mm, I think I'd like to see something a bit more classic brought on, like a full on Sleeping Beauty would be
Mm,
really cool. I feel like Sleeping Beauty is a very underutilized story, and um, I'd love to see more about that, like Three Good Fairies, Maleficent, Aurora herself, Prince Philip. I feel like there's a lot of potential for musical numbers and performances. So
And I've always thought, they're diving into villains these days. Having something that maybe
yeah,
pulls together a bunch of villains would be kind of fun. And the Disney Destiny seems to scream for that. So maybe that will happen. So that would be really
well, do
cool.
you
Mine.
remember the? Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Do you remember the villain show
No,
that was on the ships back in the day, like Villains Tonight show, and then they had like a
I do
villains
not
night
remember
instead of.
this. My goodness.
It was one of the best shows that I remember, honestly. So I hope that something like that comes back in the near future.
Wow, that would be awesome. But my show, if I was choosing a Disney property, I'm right there with Federico. Encanto, I love Encanto. It's on basically as I'm working, it's on a stream in the background here. So would love to see Encanto. All right, Federico, anything we didn't talk about that we should have?
I'm sorry. Just enjoy the show.
Yeah, they're really, really I think well worth your time. Elaine, anything we didn't talk about that we should have?
I don't think so. Get your
Well,
popcorn.
there you go. Get your popcorn. Oh, but they do, and they have yeah, go.
No, if you're like Elaine, have one or two espresso martinis before the show, and you're gonna be able to enjoy it and be a little drunk. So you're gonna enjoy it more if you don't like musicals.
They have the popcorn bucket. They have popcorn buckets on board too. So sometimes they have popcorn buckets at the same time they have them in the parks. So it's pretty
And
cool.
they're cheaper. We discovered that.
Yeah.
Rhino and I discovered that in Fantasy because they released a popcorn bucket that was like Disneyland. It was like releasing in Disneyland the same day, and they had it on the Fantasy at the theater, and it was like $10 cheaper. So
Wow.
It was the
if you're in
the Death Star popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Remember, because I bought it.
That
Yeah,
was so cool.
No, Disney Cruise often has like park exclusive stuff, and sometimes they'll get things that aren't even coming to Walt Disney World. Like they'll have Disneyland exclusive popcorn buckets and sippers at the concession stand. So if you're into those novelties, definitely go check them out on your sailing.
Chloe, anything we didn't talk about that we should have?
I don't think so. Happy popcorn popping and watching.
Yeah, definitely go check out Chloe's story. It has a little roundup of each of the stories, and so it's a great. The Disney shows really, really love them. So thank you guys all for doing this. As we always say, I'd love for you to book with Dreams Unlimited Travel. Literally, it helps pay for us to do this. And I'll tell you, I was a Dreams client before I was a Dreams agent. So I get the value. Best place to get started, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. The first page, you'll select your Disney cruise. The second page will ask your itinerary and what cruise you want to do. If you have multiple that you're looking at, you can list those in the special request. You don't have to file a different request for each one. So just put those down below and we can do some comparison contrast. The third page, at the very top, there's a pull-down menu. It will list all the Dreams agents. You can select one. You don't have to. You can select Elaine. You can select Federico. But if folks want to reach you, Elaine, outside of a quote request, how do they do that?
My email is Elaine, ELAINE, at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
And Federico, if they want to reach you outside of a quote request, how do they do that?
My email is Federico, FEDERICO, at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, both in English or Spanish, wherever you prefer. I can help you with that.
Awesome. And you can also find them, cdisney.com. So cool. And Chloe, I am a stalker of everything you write. So thanks so much for doing all the work you do over on the DIS, DCL fan, UO fan. Love reading your work. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
If you want to reach me, I'm Chris V at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Yes, there's a Chris. So I'm Chris V at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. I'm also on social media at Yensid Travel on most social media platforms. Yensid is Disney spelled backwards. It's also the Sorcerer and Sorcerer's Apprentice. So it's relatively easy to find. And we've added a new way for you to reach out to us. You can leave us a message, nice and easy, dclshow.com/message. message. And you can record your message right from your phone, make it nice and easy, show ideas, something we may have forgotten, all those kinds of things. We'd love to hear from you. Special thanks to our producer, Jimmy Valdez. Thank you, Jimmy. And thank you for being here. We really do appreciate it. Depending on where you're watching, hearing, whatever, please like, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. It's so kind. We'd love to hear that. It really does help people find us. So it's a great way to help us out. And it helps with these things called algorithms that are some confusing thing. I don't get it. I'm too old. But there you go. They're out there. And if you have topics or comments or suggestions, leave those on the YouTube comments, DCL fan Facebook page. There are a whole bunch of folks talking about Disney Cruise Line. It's so cool. Or you can send us a message, dclshow.com/message, or just send me an email, chrisv@dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. With that, go see a great show. Live the dream. My goodness. Safe travels. And we'll see you real soon.